3 times in a season. That's a big ask. It is. It is, Gerald. Do you think will it be hard to get Saints players motivated knowing they not only beat them twice, Gerald, they thumped Tampa Bay twice?
I don't think it's going to be hard to motivate the players, but I think it is going to be hard to win this game as easily as the outside world is thinking it's going to be. I love the Bucs. I always will, always have. So I went back and watched these games, and the Sunday night game, it was bad. Okay, 38-3, had to call timeout to kick a field goal just so they didn't get goose-egged. But opening day was a lot closer than people think. The Bucs had no offseason like everybody else, but this is a new group, new offense for Tom Brady. They're implementing a lot of different things. So they made a lot of mistakes. But the game was actually a lot closer than people think, and the Bucs are hitting their stride. I think the Bucs, Baltimore, Buffalo, those three teams probably hit their stride at the end of the year and came into the playoffs with the most momentum. So it's going to be difficult for the Saints to pull this one out as easy as people are thinking. And opening day, no Antonio Brown. The second game, it was his first game playing. Now he's comfortable with the system. Let's see what happens.
Very interesting. Ravens-Bills is fascinating. So I've been on the Bills bandwagon for about 2.5 months. That said, I love Lamar Jackson. I don't get the critics. But I do wonder, when I look at Lamar, I do wonder, Josh Allen is kind of the same quarterback leading behind. Even though Lamar won playing from behind, I think he's better playing with a lead. I kind of feel like Baltimore's finally going to hit their ceiling this week, and I'm going to take Buffalo. What do you make of Josh Allen? What do you make of the Bills? If I'm correct, I think you're a Bills fan this year too.
Yeah, I got Buffalo. I actually picked Buffalo to go to the Super Bowl. I picked Buffalo over Kansas City because I just like the Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs dynamic. Josh Allen, I was talking to one of my close family friends the other day, and he said he believes Josh Allen may have made the biggest jump from last year to now with what he's been able to do. And I said, I don't know. I think the biggest jump we probably seen was probably Lamar Jackson from year 1 to year 2. But Josh Allen has made huge strides. And the reason I picked Buffalo over Kansas City to go to Super Bowl is because Kansas City has been a little rocky. They've been winning, but they've been a little rocky. Going into the playoffs, they don't have a lot of momentum. Patrick Mahomes hasn't thrown a game day pass in over 3 weeks. And Buffalo, man, they ended the season so hot, and they kept it going, in the first round of playoffs, man. I love Lamar Jackson. I think he's got the most dynamic legs we've ever seen in this league. And if he doesn't turn the ball over and takes care of the ball, they might can pull this thing out. But I'm leaning towards Buffalo.
So let me ask you, your point about Kansas City is interesting. We all kind of consider them, it's like they've won one Super Bowl, and everybody has anointed them a dynasty. And it's like, hey, that Seahawk dynasty didn't last as long as we thought. The Harbaugh Niner dynasty, they never, ever do. Let me ask you, taking time off, I'm sure in your career you got injured or took a week off a bye. Can even a great player get rusty and never get in sync over the course of 3 hours? Do you think that's a real concern for Mahomes in Kansas City against Cleveland?
Yeah, I do. It can happen. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I love Andy Reid. I've always been a fan of Andy Reid, and he's made everybody he's coached better. You take a talent like Patrick Mahomes, arm talent we've never seen before. Probably closest thing is a Dan Marino or Aaron Rodgers. But you take a talent like that and put them under Andy Reid, they're going to be hard to stop. But momentum is real. And going into the playoffs with momentum is real. We've seen it over the years. A team could come in rusty, and even though the other team is not better, they could play better that day because they're hitting their stride. They have the most momentum. Look at the Giants when they made their Super Bowl run. Look at the Packers when Aaron Rodgers made his Super Bowl run. You see a lot of teams come into the playoffs with momentum.
Yeah.
They play a team that people expect to win, but they don't have that momentum. And you sit your starters for 3 weeks, they could be rusty. And Cleveland, man, they can run that ball. And if they can control the clock and get an early lead, Kansas City can come back. They're the offense that can come back if anybody can. But if they can control that clock and Baker can hit all his throws on third down, I think this could be an upset.
Yeah. So you go and play in Tampa. It's warm weather. And occasionally, maybe once, twice a year, late in the year, you got to go play a cold weather game. And I look at those soft L.A. Rams going up to Lambeau, and 72 degrees in L.A. You tell me, can weather affect, because you were a warm weather player, can weather affect a team in the NFL in the playoffs?
Yeah, weather can, but, I mean, mental toughness is stronger than weather to me. You know, if you got mental toughness, then weather doesn't affect you. It's about how bad do you want it. Now, some team may be used to it and they may never have to adjust to the weather. But if a team is mentally tough, it may take a few drives to adjust to the weather. But then it's just football. You know, I wouldn't use the word soft at L.A. Rams as long as Aaron Donald's there, you know, just saying. But I think the Packers do have the advantage in this game. And my three favorite players in the league, Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Donald, and Levante David. Unfortunately, two of my favorites are going against each other. But if I have to pick one out of the three, I'm not betting against 12. You know, Aaron Rodgers is just that guy. If the Packers can run the ball, then I think the Rams going to have a long day because then Aaron can do his thing. And, you know, I just think it's going to be a long day. I hope AD plays well. You know, I know he has the injury, but he's a warrior. He's something we've never seen before in this league. So I'm sure he's going to overcome, and it's just going to be a great game.
By the way, let me ask you about your rehab. You played 10 years. You were a Pro Bowler 6. Everybody in this league wants a defensive tackle. You're not done playing, right?
No, I'm not done by a long stretch. You know, a lot of people, I've been getting this question, you know, are you going to retire? Are you done? And I'm like, because I got injured? Am I the first person to be 10 years in and get injured? If you ask me, am I done or going to retire? I'm kind of taking it as disrespect because that means you was kind of thinking I was about to be done in the first place. So instead of getting angry and taking it as disrespect, I'm going to use it as motivation. It's a blessing in disguise. I got a lot left, and now I'm motivated to just show that. You know, anybody who's listening, I got a lot left, and I'm ready to rock.
And you're a good dude, good locker room guy as well. By the way, I don't need to talk about anybody specifically, but I do think NFL and college football, Gerald, look more the same than they ever have. Matt Rule, Urban, doesn't matter who it is. I used to be, if a college guy went to the NFL as a coach, I was like, it's not going to work. Increasingly, I'm like, I think it can work. I mean, you tell me, will veteran NFL players struggle with a college guy when they walk in the locker room?
It just all depends on the coach. You know, I was listening in earlier, and you were saying how the game is transitioning. And the college game and NFL game is becoming very similar. That's why we're seeing more Lamar Jacksons. Yeah. We're seeing more Kyler Murrays. And because the game is evolving. Now it's up to the coach. These players want to win. And when you bring in a coach, they're going to initially say, okay, let me humble myself, see what they have to say and buy in. Okay. It's all about the coach and how they approach the players. You have to understand you're not talking to kids anymore. These are grown men. You may be talking to a guy like me. I got 5 children. I've been married 8 years. You can't talk to me any kind of way. You know what I'm saying? But some coaches try it, and it doesn't work. And I think the times where you see a coach who's a great coach in college, it doesn't work in the NFL, I don't think they understand the dynamic. If you talk to these players as grown men, as NFL players, guys who make a lot of money, who have families at home, kids just like you, I think guys would be more willing to buy in. And great coaches can adapt. And when you're a great coach, it doesn't matter the environment, you learn to adapt. And if they can understand the dynamic between college and NFL players, then I absolutely believe that college coaches can be successful in the NFL.
Yeah. Gerald McCoy is a free agent defensive tackle. If you are one of those franchises, could use a little beef, a little intelligence, a little moxie, that's the guy you got to go get. And your rehab's going well. You feel good?
I feel great, and I appreciate you guys having me on. I'm in the middle of rehab right now. I'm working out, but I consider you guys family.
Absolutely.
So I took a break to talk to my long-distance my cousins, Joy and Colin. I love you guys. You know, we're family. We're distance apart, but long-distance cousins. Always going to be family. Thank you guys for having me, and I'm feeling great.
All right. 10 years, 6 Pro Bowls. Go sign him. Easy guy to root for, Gerald McCoy. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Awesome. Good dude. We got a lot of stuff today. Eric Wood, former Pro Bowler, Buffalo Bills. We had a defensive lineman on. Let's bring on a big husky from the offensive side as we get ready for an incredible weekend. Also, I think the Packers, it's funny. It's hard to be a number 1 seed and be a little undervalued. I think because of the way the Packers got rolled last year twice by the Niners, I think we're forgetting